And now we head into Kansas again. This is a look at the number 3 video of the day. Cowley County, Kansas. Do you see this? Every time the lightning flashes, you get a better look at it. Tornado.
Yeah, it was touching down just after sunset here. You can see how the lightning kind of illuminates the sky, and you can clearly see that structure of that condensation funnel and definitely touching the ground. That is a tornado.
And in Dexter, Kansas, not as clear because it's dark. But with that lightning, you can also see another tornado.
Yeah, pretty ominous looking sight here. Also, by the way, the preliminary reports report 8 tornadoes hit across the country yesterday. This is just one of more than a half dozen.
And now we take you here to Iceland. An amazing sight. Look at that lava bubbling up.
This is very difficult to pronounce volcano here in Iceland. It's actually called the Bardarbunga volcano.
Ooh.
I think I said that correctly.
Yeah, sounds good.
I don't quite know Icelandic very well, but doesn't roll off the tongue.
And you see some lava rolling around right here, though. Smoke and maybe some ash going up into the sky.
New land being built right there. Hey, if you get great video of weather happening or the aftermath of weather, we'd love to see it anytime at weather.com/photos.
It's not every day that you find yourself at the corner of a little flu shot and a world of difference. When you get any immunization at Walgreens, you'll help provide a life-saving vaccine to a child in a developing country through the UN Foundation's Shot at Life campaign. Thanks to customers like you, last year we helped supply 3 million vaccines to children in need. This year, help give even more. It's easy at Walgreens. Simply get a shot and give a shot. At the corner of happy and healthy.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
Joe makes fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Every Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 78. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, scattered showers or thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
When the pressure's on, only Secret offers clinical strength Invisible Solid and Clear Gel with 100% odor protection. Secret Clinical Strength.
The Dyson DC-59 Motorhead outcleans the 5 best-selling full-size vacuums across carpets and hard floors without the hassle of a cord.
Now save up to $100 on Dyson machines.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. Start shopping online from a list of top-rated providers.
Visit angieslist.com today.
Welcome to No Man's Land. It's a place you've been before, but it's not on any map. So go out there, lose yourself, and find the truth. We're all born wild. Let's keep it that way. The 2014 4Runner. Toyota. Let's go places.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions in the lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium.
The world you've been waiting for is here. Come and live it. Amazing memories are within reach at a Universal Orlando Resort Hotel. Universal Orlando Resort. Vacation like you mean it.
No matter how much I loved my mother or my sisters or my wife, none of that mattered because they always came second to heroin. Everything did.
I didn't know at the time the power that the drugs had over him, and I was so afraid of losing him, and I knew enough about B-Hop, and I knew what they could do. To me, it's amazing. It's almost like I wish somebody would pinch me and make sure that, I'm not dreaming.
If someone you know is struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, please call or visit us at interventionnow.com.
Cellular at 1-800-752-8496. Go online to consumercellular.com or visit a Sears store today.
They're back for their biggest season yet. An all-new season of Prospectors coming in December on the Weather Channel.
53 minutes past the top of the hour. Time now from our tropical update from the lab here. We got the chalkboard in play. Obviously, it's been a much busier season in the Pacific. I was noticing the ice storm in the Atlantic this year is obviously new. Okay, remember they retire a lot of the I names they have certainly in the last several years, and you wind up with names like Isaias, or however you say that, and we're going to find out. Either way, we're dealing with Dolly circled and also Norbert, and that's what we've got pretty much highlighted here for you right there across the western Gulf of Mexico and the eastern Pacific, both of these moving in and out. And another area to watch as we work our way in time. So let's go ahead and talk about these. This will be the main part of this discussion here for today. First of all, Norbert, if you're watching us from Cabo San Lucas or are heading there anytime soon, we are watching this storm now on a northerly track. Earlier it was northeast, so now it's finally moving off toward the north, and so that means it's still close to the Mexican coast. Eventually it'll turn off toward the west and then pass to the southwest of Cabo San Lucas. But that's going to bring many areas into the wind field here. And since that's happened, we're seeing the tropical storm watches come into play. Looks like Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Here's Thursday midday right here. That's where the center of the storm is going to be either close to Cabo or it's going to be down here. So one or the other. This, of course, is the track for the center. We're probably going to see winds in Cabo San Lucas regardless of which point that center passes by. So here we go. Tropical storm watches out La Paz, around to Cabo, and around to the western side. Storms in the Gulf of Mexico. Obviously, Dolly right in through here is the center. Still big convective bursts, so lots of heavy rain. Mainly a big squall line here working its way on off toward the south and west. And look at this. Huge thunderstorms here off into the western Gulf of Mexico. Also charging off toward the west. So even after the storm comes ashore near Tampico, okay, we are going to see weather go downhill in Brownsville. That's how lopsided this thing is, and we plan to keep it that way probably for the next 24 hours or so. So there are those thunderstorms. Notice, again, it's almost like two bows here, kind of racing off toward the west-northwest. Here's the center right here near the convection, sitting about 45 miles offshore or so, working its way again off toward the west and continuing again to approach the Tampico area. But winds are strong. Look at where the strongest winds are. All right. at least the ones we can get observations for, there's probably some pretty strong winds in through here. That's what the hurricane hunters found, and that's why we still have a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm on our hands and through here. So rainfall is most concentrated down with that complex, but some squally weather certainly out here, which is racing toward the coast, and with it rain, some of it very heavy, and obviously some gusty winds to come on as well. So there's Dolly, west. As it goes west, it'll be a depression, and it'll be a very heavy rainmaker. That is the biggest concern at the present time. So our easterly winds, which are just loaded with moisture here, coming in. Here's Tampico. All right, so now you've got winds that are upslope here in the mountains, and as they are upslope, it's lifted. You almost enhance the rainfall just by the fact that you have those mountains. And that means flooding as all this rain just probably develops and sits in one area for an extended period of time and produces anywhere from 5 to 12 inches of rain, depending on where you are. So keep an eye out. Get away from the rivers, the creeks, and the streams and the low-lying areas, because all that water is going to want to pool. Here's our big Bermuda high right in through here. Obviously, our flow around that's pretty much what steers everything this time of the year. Sometimes you get an upper tropospheric low here, so that's going to increase the shear over this region. And so if you have winds aloft that are out of the southwest and your winds underneath are out of the east, that's the shear. That's what keeps things from developing. That's what we want. We don't want, obviously, the East Coast to get hammered by storms, but when you have that situation, that doesn't happen. But remember, that's also moving as well. Here's the next wave that we're watching. It comes off the African coast. Stick around. Next hour, we'll tell you about this and another one that follows that have the chance or have not, or don't have the chance of developing. Paul, back to you.
Exactly. Thanks, Jim. Well, before we leave you tonight, we want to welcome to the Weather Channel family William Seckler, Father CJ, who is part of our production team here, and Mom Chrissy are all doing well, according to CJ. He will train William to produce, direct, and be on camera. Congratulations to the happy family. And stick around. Weather Center Live continues in 64 seconds.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 78. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, scattered showers or thunderstorms. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, this is a live look at New York City today. If you can believe it, the hottest day of the summer. And this, just the beginning of some heat, some big heat. Also right now, the possibility of this, the threat for more storms like we saw yesterday in the plains, including large hail and damaging winds. And take a look at some video from last night, also in the plains. This in Kansas, a tornado being lit up by lightning. An amazing scene there. This is the 7 p.m. edition of Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren. We're going to break down that video coming up a little bit later, but right now there is a severe weather threat that we are following throughout the evening, and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, is in the lab. He's keeping an eye on things, but first, before we get to Dr. Forbes, we want to show you the areas that we are concerned about for the threat of some more strong storms. This is a severe thunderstorm watch. This indicates where conditions are favorable for the development of some strong storms. This does include around the Washington, D.C. area, parts of central Maryland, up through central PA, into New York. So the threat for storms will exist outside of this area. However, this is where there's the greatest chance for the development of some of the stronger storms. And right now, let's get to our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, for a look at what he's keeping his eyes on. Hello to you, Dr. Forbes.
Hey, Chris. And inside of that watch area, there have been quite a few reports of damage, wind damage in terms of trees and power lines down. Maybe a tornado. I had reports from a colleague in Punxsutawney there at the Weather Discovery Center. Power out in Punxsutawney, trees down around that area. We don't know yet if it's tornado or wind damage. In addition to that threat area, there's also some threat there outside the watch area, down into Virginia, maybe D.C. and Baltimore, West Virginia, down all the way down into the Nashville area. The storms are a little bit on the spotty side. They're ahead of this upper trough, this dip in the jet stream U-shaped pattern. That's the cold pocket. Yesterday, the leading edge of that gave tornadoes in Michigan. Today, the cold front has passed there. It's a wide area of warm Gulf of Mexico air from the southwest, unstable air fueling the storms today. The big cluster is right up on the New York-Pennsylvania border. Then there's an additional cluster west of Washington, D.C., and then Kentucky, Tennessee area. We'll take a look at some of these most active areas. Bow Echo here, backwards C, you can see it rolling right into Elmira, New York. So expect some trees and power lines down in places there across Chemung, Schuyler, and Steuben counties. That goes a little bit down into the Pennsylvania area. Weakens a little bit as you get down toward the Williamsport area. And then as we head down into the Maryland, southeast Pennsylvania area, probably about an hour away from Philadelphia. These storms not warned on at the moment. They have been in the past. Could be the kind of thing that gives some branches down, of course, lightning and locally heavy rain. This little line segment pushing northeast, a different direction, up into Gaithersburg, Maryland there, Loudoun and Montgomery counties. You have severe thunderstorm warnings there. And that probably will come to Baltimore right about 8 o'clock if it holds together. The storms probably will be. Whether they're severe or not remains to be seen. A lot of thunderstorms across West Virginia down into southeast Kentucky, including some that are severe south and west of the Pikesville area, and then down into Campbell and Scott counties in Tennessee. The thunderstorms are continuing to roll there across northern Tennessee, and at times have been severe from southwest across Nashville into the east area. This could become a localized flooding threat as the storm's kind of lining up there across I-40 and across the Nashville area. Tomorrow that front will stall out all the way up into the northern plains, a little bit of a low pressure area there. Southeast flow, turning of the winds by 5,000 feet from the southwest. Now this is going to be warm flow, so will it cap the area or will it be unstable enough that we'll get severe thunderstorms that will rotate because of those turning of the winds? I've gone with the rotating, but maybe a little bit elevated. So parts of North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin will have damaging winds, probably mainly a large hail threat and a chance of a tornado. I've gone with a Torcon of 2 or 3 for the moment. Check back tomorrow. It's one of these days that's a difficult forecast, could add to the area that has severe thunderstorms. Chris?
Thank you very much, Dr. Forbes. Now let's go right now live to South Padre Island, Texas, and we're looking at some waves here, and quite a few waves. You start to see more and more of the white, more and more of the wave action being churned up, being mixed up a bit. We're going to see more of that because of Dolly, Tropical Storm Dolly, the new tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. And storm tracker Jim Cantori is in the lab right now tracking Dolly and what else we're watching in the tropics. Hello, Jim.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where you watch just about everything that blows up into a thunderstorm complex to potentially see it develop or not. In this case, we've got 2 systems that actually have names and more stuff we're watching out in the far eastern Atlantic. So a nice break between the action. We're only about 40 miles. Remember, this advisory came out at 4 o'clock Central Time. So we're only about 40 miles offshore with a movement at 12 miles per hour. But Chris was showing you those waves. You've got this tremendous amount of easterly fetch here coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico around Dolly down through here. So you're just basically driving all that water and certainly a high rip current risk right into South Texas and really the entire Texas coastline for that matter. Even a few thunderstorms out and through here we have to watch because these will drive gusty winds and even some squally weather into those beaches as well, even though the main concentration of rain is down near the center, which has been moved, by the way, 3 times. So you can see those winds strongest out here near the thunderstorms, near buoy 42 32055, and those winds are out of the south and east at about 27 miles per hour. So, radar showing us the rain, at least for the moment, out of Tampico, even though there's some new showers trying to develop right in through here. Pretty big heavy rain area in through here. And even after the center comes ashore, there will still be plenty of squally weather well behind the center coming ashore. So don't really pay attention to the winds. They're not incredibly strong unless you're in those thunderstorms. We're going to obviously see this weaken once it moves ashore, but it is going to be like a big wet sponge that's coming in. It's going to douse itself on Tampico first, and then it's going to douse itself on the mountains that are here. And we're talking about mountains that go pretty much straight up right from the coastline there. So expect enhanced rainfall, in some cases 8 to 12 inches. Upper low sitting here, at least trying to develop as an upper Tut low. Big high pressure here, the Bermuda high sitting at all levels, so that's why everything is steered from east to west underneath that high. And we will have a couple of waves that we will watch. And then you can see the lines almost showing you which way that low-level flow is around that Bermuda high. So here's the next disturbance in the pipeline. It works its way west, potentially developing in through here. Right now, the Hurricane Center giving that a 30% chance of developing over the next 5 days. Of course, it's got to come off the coast first and develop. And then, interestingly enough, it does move to the west, and some of the models develop it and some do not. I'll show you which ones we're talking about coming up. Chris, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. And as Jim keeps his eye on the tropics, we're also going to borrow him for a little bit later to get his thoughts on our top 5 videos. And that countdown, the top 5 countdown, begins right now with a look at this video right here from Missouri. And this video is from last night inside a store. You can see the very heavy rain and winds gusting stronger than 50 miles an hour in Joplin, more than 1.5 inches of rain. And then there's this. Some heat, some big-time heat. Right now, temperatures in the upper 80s. It was the hottest day of the summer so far in New York City. The rest of the Northeast also feeling the heat. Coming up, how many days the Big Apple hit 90 degrees this summer, and it feels even hotter right now.
You don't compromise, and you're never willing to settle. So why are you wearing glasses with just any Progressive lenses? See the difference with Verilux, the only Progressive lens brand with lenses designed using wave technology. Enjoy smooth transitions and sharp vision at any distance. See your eye care professional about Verilux, the #1 Progressive lens brand. Ask for Verilux. Never compromise your vision.
Now save $30 on Verilux when you combine with Crizal and Transitions lenses.
Ask your eye care professional about Transitions signature lenses.
Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
Every day this week, the Weather Channel is all about surviving the worst.
One goal, to stay alive.
Every night, vicious weather puts people to the test in powerful shows you can't afford to miss. And the next morning, AMHQ makes sure you learn the lesson. This is Survival Week on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 78. Wednesday, scattered showers or thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Why not? You're not one of the good guys. The Blacklist returns September 22nd on NBC.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin Migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin Migraine works.
makers of Excedrin Migraine, #1 neurologist recommended.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
I'm go up.
Discover how Tempur-Pedic can move you. And now through September 7th, save up to $500 on a Tempur-Pedic mattress and adjustable base.
A true companion is someone who tells you things, is affectionate, and always has your back. Our pets take care of us in so many ways. That's why at Petco, we're so selective about what we feed them. Like Natural Balance, Ultra Whole Body Health, a gluten-free formula that supports everything from brain health to digestion. Because true companions always look out for each other. Petco, the power of together.
Right now on Weather Center Live, a live look at New York City. And if you can believe it, the hottest day of the year so far in New York City today. Second day of September. It was 92 degrees at one point, and this is only the 7th 90-degree day in New York City this summer. And the average, 17, 10 fewer than normal. And Boston also recorded its hottest day of the summer with 93 degrees at 2 o'clock this afternoon and at Logan International Airport. This is just the 6th time Boston hit 90 this summer. The average, 13, so less than half. And students in much of the Midwest and Northeast went back to school today. One school in Connecticut had to send students home early because of a faulty air conditioning system in this heat. That air conditioning is important, and meteorologist Mark Elliott is here with a look at that heat and why air conditioning is so important right now.
Right, in the Northeast, you're used to snow days. You're not so much used to the heat days, but occasionally you do get exactly that. And Chris, it has been hot across the Northeast recently, and it's going to stay that way over the next couple of days here. Here are some of the stats for you. As Chris was just talking about, the hottest day so far of the year, 92 in New York today, 93 in Boston. Richmond, Virginia hit 101. Previously in New York, you hit 90 degrees a couple of times, but that's it. It has been the summer without a lot of heat, but this is why it's changed. High pressure off the coast, southerly winds funneling in all that heat from the south, and it means that temperatures through the late week here are going to stay 5 to 10 degrees above average. When you factor in the average for this time of year, that's still significantly warm. It means that places like New York will be close to 90 tomorrow, about 9 degrees above average. But even into Thursday, 10 degrees above average for Boston, 85 for you. Even inland, Buffalo 84 for your Thursday, Friday, 87 in Buffalo, approaching 15 degrees above average. So you look at a place like Baltimore where the average high is 82. Look what happens here this week. If anything, we're getting hotter as we head towards the weekend into the low 90s. And again, it's all about the time of year and what you're used to. The heat isn't just in the Northeast, though. The Midwest is seeing plenty of heat, and that will continue through at least midweek. Tomorrow, 85 in Chicago, which is pleasantly warm compared to average. It's significantly warm, though. 90 in Chicago by Thursday. St. Louis, you'll be close to 96. And look at Kansas City. You do get a lot of heat through Thursday, but a relief comes in on Friday. And we're going to be talking more about that relief as we go through this hour, because there is some cooler air on the way. You got to punch through this heat in the Southeast, too, though. It's heat, the eastern third of the country, maybe even 2/3 of the country, staying warm. So the next couple of days, if you don't get a thunderstorm right on top of your town, these are the temperatures you're going to be dealing with all the way through Friday, including near 91 in Nashville and 93 in Memphis by Friday. So, Chris, these temperatures are about as hot as Rutgers' offense was on Thursday as your team lost to mine.
Wow.
You know, it's the first time we're back in studio together. I had to give you a little jab there at the end.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen each other today, and you didn't mention it.
Well, I was holding out.
You saved it.
I did. I was holding out.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. And Mark, you will be back with a look at the cool down that's coming. Certainly appreciate that. Right now, though, it is time to count down, continue our countdown, and now we're down to the number 4 video of the day. This from last night in Denison, Iowa. Beautiful scene here, but dangerous because of that. You saw it and you can hear it. The lightning here. This big thunderstorm, supercell with some cloud to ground lightning. And Mark just showed you the heat. There is a cool down coming, and right now here's a hint at where that cool air is coming from. It's coming from much farther to the west, and already early September, a winter weather advisory in effect for parts of Montana, including Glacier National Park. But keep in mind, this is above about 6,000 feet. Above 7,000, could see a few inches of snow. And on Saturday, here's a little hint of where some of that cool air is going to be. But notice not quite to the northeast. We will let you know when the big cities will cool down coming up.
Over 12,000 financial advisors. Good. Nearly $800 billion in assets under care.
Maybe we just put this away.
How did Edward Jones get so big?
Could you teach our kids that trick?
By not acting that way.
Okay, last quarter.
It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have time to eat like I should. That's why I like Glucerna shakes. They have slowly digestible carbs to help minimize blood sugar spikes.
Glucerna, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.